What's going on, my guys? Lost and Found Dating Channel, back at it again with another dating topic for you guys. This week, we're back like we never left. Thank you guys for all the support thus far. We appreciate all the views, all the likes on the channel, all the comments. If you haven't already, make sure you click the subscribe button. That way you'll be able to see each and every video when it's posted, and you'll be the first to know when we come out with new content each and every week. With that being said, let's dive straight into this week's topic. All right, fellas, so we got a good topic this week. This week, we're gonna be talking about how to respond, what to do in situations and scenarios where the woman you're pursuing is on the fence as far as dating you, right? So maybe she's on the fence as far as dating you. Maybe she's on the fence as far as entering a relationship with you. So we're gonna talk about how to respond and how to act in those different kinds of situations, and some strategies that I think will be helpful for you as far as getting closure, as far as reconciling those kinds of situations. So let's lay the foundation. Let's set some ground rules here, okay? So the situation that we're dealing with is, let's say you've made it abundantly clear that you would like to move the interaction or the relationship between you two to the next level. And when I say to the next level, I don't specifically mean that you're deciding to be in a relationship. It could mean moving things to the next level as far as going on a date with each other, right? So that could be, a small step as far as moving things to the next level. It could be deciding to maybe see each other more consistently and start to spend time with each other. Or it could be a situation where you've been dating for some time and you would like to pursue things and lead things towards a relationship, right? So let's say you've been vocal, you've been decisive, you've made it abundantly clear that you would like to, if she's willing, to move things in those directions, right? What you never want to do is once you've made it abundantly clear, let's say the woman is on the fence and she's not really sure whether she wants to go on a date with you. She's not really sure whether she wants to date you consistently or enter a relationship with you. One thing that you never do is you never try to pressure or convince or coerce her into choosing, one option or the other. So that's the first thing. You never try to pressure her to lead her in the direction where you want things to go. So again, you never try to muscle her into going on a date with you, or to start to spend more time with you, or to be in a relationship with you. That should never be your approach. And remember, as I said before, I'm assuming that getting to this point, you've made it very clear to her, hey, I like you, I enjoy the time that we're spending with each other, I would like to spend more time with you, or I've been enjoying us dating and getting to know each other, I would like to, move things in this direction, if you'd be interested in that, right? So again, guys, let me stress, I'm assuming that you've been a good communicator and you've established where you would like things to go and kind of what expectations you have for that relationship. So I'm assuming that's already been done. You never try to push her to make a decision. You never try to coerce her into that relationship. What you do is, let's say she's on the fence, you leave her there on the fence and you walk away. So let me repeat that again. If she's feeling indecisive or she's feeling unsure, you don't try to pull her over to your side. You don't push her over to the other side and say, well, you know what, you need to make up your mind, or you don't give her ultimatums, right? What you do is she's on the fence, you leave her there on the fence, and then you walk away. And maybe that leads her to, choose one option or the other. Maybe that leads her to lean over towards one side of the fence. Maybe it doesn't. but the idea is that you're creating that closure for yourself without trying to coerce and convince her and put her in an uncomfortable situation where she feels pressured to make a certain decision. So I'm gonna give you guys an analogy about leaving people on the fence. This wasn't really a person that I left on the fence, but I used to have a cat. I had a cat several years ago. And I remember when I first got him, he was a little kid, he was a couple months old, little kitten. And when we brought him home, sometimes he would be a little mischievous, and he would go underneath furniture, go underneath the couch and hide under the couch. So I'd find him and I'd be like, dude, you can't stay under the couch, you're gonna get stuck. We might lose you, and then you'd be sitting there starving with no food for a couple of days. So he'd be under there, and I would, try and reach underneath and, get down on all fours and try and reach out and pull him out. And whenever I'd reach for him, he'd try to swat at me. And I bet, man, I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to save you. I'm trying to rescue you. And you over here just acting like a clown. What's the explanation? And then I realized, I started thinking, well, if he was able to get himself in that situation, chances are he can find his way out of it, right? I don't need to go in there and rescue him and try to pull him out of there and explain to, well, I can't explain to anything to him, he's a cat, but I don't need to pull him out and make sure that he's okay, right? That's an analogy for what you're trying to do as a guy. If you're trying to pressure her and say, come on over to this side, I'm a great guy, these are all the things that I can offer you, right? You're trying to sort of convince and coerce the person to come over to your space, and they're in their spot, you're trying to bring them over to you. So what I would do is I just saw him under the couch, I'd be like, cool, man, whenever you feel like coming out and hanging out with us, you let me know. No pressure, you hang out under the couch, and sure enough, a couple minutes, couple hours later, he'd come back out and he'd be all good. And it taught me a valuable lesson, that when someone's positioned themselves on the fence or under the couch, or they're in between a rock and a hard place and trying to figure out what's the best option or what's the best decision, what's the best course of action from here. I know intuitively we think, well, this is where I should try to sell myself. This is where I should try to prove how awesome it would be to go on a date with me, or how awesome it would be for us to spend more time with each other, or to be in a relationship with each other, right? I need to sell myself, and that's gonna help bring the person over to my side. But I've tried to go that route. I've seen other people try and go that route, and it's really not effective. When someone's can't decide or they're unsure what's the best decision, I know we think that trying to give them reasons is going to help persuade them. Sometimes it's best to just let them decide in peace and kind of give them their space to do so. And whichever decision they make, that's the decision that they make, and you have to kind of live with it. And another thing that I'll layer on top of that is one of the best lines or quotes that I've heard in life is if someone can convince you, if it's easy to convince you to do something, it's just as easy to convince you to not do it, right? So I've been in these situations where I've gone on a couple of dates with a woman, I've started liking her, and maybe I've started thinking about where things may lead, and let's say she's unsure, right? And I start going into convincing mode, and this is why we should continue dating. And that phone call may go well, and she's like, you know what, I think you have a good point. This is something that I want to pursue. I'd like to go in that direction with you as well. And then the next day later, they send me a text, hey, I've been thinking about it, I changed my mind, blah, blah, blah. So if it's easy to convince someone to do something, whether it's relationships, whether it's whatever goals they have in life, if you can convince someone, if it takes convincing to motivate someone to work out or to do whatever it is that you know you're trying to get them to do, if it's easy to convince them to do something, it's just as easy to convince them to not do it, right? Just like you're trying to sell yourself and you feel like me giving them reasons is gonna help them see my perspective. All it takes is one thing and one reason for them not to want to do that, for them to kind of go back on that decision and put themselves back on the fence. So I've learned that in life, you never want to try to convince someone or persuade someone to do something. You always want to let it be their own choice, their own decision, right? The most that you can do is just express what you want, express what makes you happy, what feels good to you. You know, be vocal, communicate, hey, I'm liking where things are going. You know, I see some potential here. You can communicate those things without doing it in a way where it's like the person is pulling away from you and you're chasing after them to try to pull them back in your direction. So again, guys, you don't try to, you know, explain and persuade with your words, right? You don't let your mouth do the talking. You let your feet do the talking. And by that I mean you walk away, you do what you feel is best for you. If someone's not giving you the kind of relationship or dynamic that you're looking for, you know, you walk away because you feel that that's best for you, and you should be content in that decision. You know, they say, what is it? A picture is worth 1,000 words. Well, walking away sometimes can be worth 10,000 words, right? Because when a person sees that you're walking away and you're not going to be held up by, you know, waiting for them to make a decision, sometimes that is enough information that they need to decide and kind of make a decision and move forward with things. So hope you guys got some good knowledge, some nuggets from this video. Like I said, whenever you're in these kinds of situations, it could be something as simple as this is a woman you've been spending time with in a very platonic friendship kind of way, and you would like to go on a date with her. It could be something as simple as that, where she's indecisive and she's on the fence and she's, you know, not really making a decision about things. You can still apply that same logic and just, you know, you let her kind of stay on the fence and then you move forward with what you think is best for you, and you put yourself first at the end of the day. And again, guys, want to make sure I communicate this. When I say you walk away, I know it sounds like a very ego kind of thing or a harsh thing. You don't do it harshly. You can walk away and move forward. I don't want to say with kindness, but you can do it with human decency. You can act like a human being and just say, you know, I understand that you can't make a decision right now, or I understand that you're not really sure. You know, I'll be heading on this way, but you know, if you come to a decision, let me know, right? That's very different from doing it with anger and doing it with resentment. You don't want to, you know, end things or kind of carry on that next page of your life with anger and with resentment, because chances are that's just going to impact the next relationship or the next situation that you head into. So keep that in mind, guys. You're doing this, you know, with humility and with human decency. The idea isn't to try to hurt the other person. It's just about putting yourself first and putting your own happiness first. So wrapping things up, guys, hope you got some good value from this video. If you did, feel free to leave a like, leave a comment down below. And of course, like we always do, signing off, signing out. Double salute. Wipe me down. Peace.
Especially, I like the idea of walk away. Like, walking away is often the hardest thing for anybody to do, given the situation. But also,
dating, life, everything,
Yeah.
business negotiations. Yeah, if they, I don't know, that sounds your rate sounds a little too pricey for me. Cool. Well, I'm gonna work on some other projects. Hey, let me know. So what some people try to do is they try and defend it. No, stop being cheap, put up the money, right? So they try and pull them in their direction, or they're like, you know what, you're unprofessional, you don't know how to work with people, and they push them away and sort of repel the person. But no, you just, with no emotion, just kind of indifferently, just walk away. And maybe like you said, maybe they're like, I kind of let a good business opportunity go, or I let a good relationship go, or whatever the case may be. Maybe they feel that way. Maybe they're like, cool, and they walk in the opposite direction. But the most important thing is it's about you and your emotional health and what's best for you. It's not so much about what they do. And like I said, you're not doing it to get a reaction. It's not like you're not trying to give them an ultimatum. I don't like trying to force ultimatums on people when it comes to dating and relationships. It's never a good approach. Right. Yeah, because then you put a negative taste in the person's mouth. Like, I thought he was a cool guy, but now he's like pressuring me, and he won't give me time to think about things. And now you may push her away, where she was like, well, I wanted to head in that same direction, but now I'm reconsidering because he was acting like a jerk. You gotta do that. Leave her on the fence.